Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. So, but before we do the usual disclaimers, if you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interview over 900 ABA professionals in regards to JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article, share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC actually does see through with their threat. All right, folks. Trigger warning one: when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Trigger warning 2: this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised. Alright, so where we left off the other the other video, the response. FDA disagrees that this is a robust data set, as does anyone with freaking logic who's ever worked in this field. And this information does not change the FDA's assessment of the effects of ESDs for SIB or AB. The case reports and other information submitted by JRC about its residents on whom the ESDs have been used appear to indicate that their SIB and AB decreased substantially once they began wearing the GED and remained at low levels for years. Yeah, we call bullshit. We call major bullshit. Except for those of us who trained into ourselves due to abuse how to mask for exceedingly long periods of time, I highly doubt it. Not to mention, it is in JRC's interest to cook the books, as it were, to make themselves look good and try to convince everyone that they're doing what we're trying to tell us that those devices are doing. Blah. Sorry, folks, it's been a long day. However, as explained in the paragraphs that follow, this information suffers from serious methodological limitations that prevent the FDA from drawing any scientific conclusions regarding ESD effectiveness based on it. That report was so bad that we can literally not extract anything useful out of it. That's what the FDA is saying here in layman's terms. Your study was such crap that there was nothing of value we could extract from it in order to answer this question whatsoever. Damn, that's some shade. Right? For example, these residential records, not study data, and they also suffer from the same limitations that generally apply to the case studies discussed in the literature. In other words, it's coming from a biased source whose best interest it is to cook the numbers. It's not being properly peer reviewed. You see where they're going with this, right? It's once again the JRC wants to say rules for thee, but not for me, right? They're special. They don't have to get held up to the same scrutiny as everyone else. Ringing any bells? I think it should. In addition, the manner in which the information was collected and documented undermines its reliability. In other words, because of the fact that it was the JRC who did that study, it is utterly useless because there is inherent confirmation bias there. It's in the JRC's best interest for those numbers to look good. But as we know, and history tells us, the JRC has a history of cooking the books now, don't they? Right? So, how are we to take this study seriously? Not to mention how bad of a precedent it would set if we would allow something like this, where the person who is in question is being allowed to submit their own information that was created by them. If you don't see the issue there, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's confirmation bias at its worst, right? It does us no good to take a look at a report that is done so horribly. One that would never be approved to be published in any of the scientific literature that is out there today. Okay? It does not hold up to snuff to the other scrutiny of different items and what they've all gone through. They've gone through all the modern protocols and fail safes. The JRC's GED device has not, right? So, once again, it's this: first of all, stop with the whole the ends justify the means, but it stops the behaviors, doesn't it? Is not a justification for abuse and torture. Okay? Again, no doctor is writing a prescription to have someone be punched in the face to keep them from doing bad behaviors. Right? No doctors out there doing that. At the same time, if that were to happen, the other person, the person who's getting punched, is going to stop exactly what they're doing at that moment in time, as anyone does who's ever had violence inflicted upon them. Even the most angry of us will still have that split second where we freeze and stop whatever it is that we're doing in that moment. That doesn't make it a good idea. All right? Number two, again, this is a situation where the person who's the consumer is given absolutely no power, no way to say yay or nay. It's once again all about the parents and what they want. Me, my, mine, mine, right? Number three, those removal of behaviors caused by the GED is not long lasting. This is not a treatment that's going to work for the long term, because the underlying issues that are causing the behavior, nobody is fucking bothering to do the work. You know? That ultimately, although it takes more time and it's certainly not a quick fix, is what ultimately ends up in assisting with behavioral issues as they encroach and come up. Right? Goodness. And number three, quit trying to put forward that study by Dr. Matthew Israel as though it's some kind of inadequate, good argument, because it isn't. You can't expect to be taken seriously in regards to a study put forward by the same man who's in question. Like, are you insane? Do you smoke crack? Is that what you do? Do you smoke crack? 'Cause put down the pipe. All right? That's what they're saying here. That study, the research that was done is not worth the poor trees that were chopped down in order to provide the paper. It was not even conducted in a way that could hold up the snuff with small case studies, let alone larger ones. So quit trying to push forward this crap. All right, we're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get moved from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye, everyone.